The Supreme Court has rejected an effort from gun rights advocates to challenge the ban on what are called bump stocks. I-Team reporter Brian New has been covering this very issue since the 2017 mass shooting at that music festival in Las Vegas.
But for years after, gun rights advocates fought to overturn the ban, arguing the ATF did not have the authority to classify bump stocks as machine guns. On Monday, those efforts to bring it to the Supreme Court were rejected.
The Supreme Court has sided with the government on the bump stock ban. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And let's talk about this. As of October 3rd, 2022, the Supreme Court has refused to hear the case that would technically overrule the bump stock ban that has been in place since 2017. Now, many of you already know the history behind this. This ban was put in place after the shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada. And just keep in mind, that is the only incident where bump stocks were used. So it took that one incident for then President Trump to basically put a ban on these items via the ATF. If you know the history of the bump stock, when it was first produced, Sly Fire in Texas was the biggest producer of these. The ATF decided that this was not a regulated part and they could not say it was illegal. So they became very prevalent. After the Las Vegas shooting and then President Trump banned the item, a lawsuit came up in December of 2018. Gun Owners of America, they sued in the district court to overturn that ban. Now, in 2019, the Sixth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals, they sided with the plaintiffs in a 2-1 decision. Okay, then it moved on to the next level, and that court overwhelmingly stated that the ban should stay in place. Now, coming up to 2022, it was petitioned to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has decided not to hear it, which in that case, you go back to the lower court's ruling, which enforces the ban. Now, I'm just going to play this video here just once again for context in this issue. So let's go ahead and watch that.
I-Team reporter Brian New has been covering this very issue since the 2017 mass shooting at that music festival in Las Vegas, and now gives you a closer look at the impact of the decision.
It was shortly after that event that President Donald Trump's administration issued a ban on bump stocks, a ruling that ever since has been challenged by gun right advocates, a ruling that today was upheld when the Supreme Court declined to hear 2 cases challenging the ban. They allowed semi-automatic rifles to fire like machine guns. But when investigators found bump stocks attached to the guns used in the Las Vegas mass shooting that killed 58 people, President Donald Trump called for a ban.
By the way, bump stocks, we're writing that out. I'm writing that out myself.
When the ban went into effect in 2019, local online retailers sent tens of thousands of brand new bump stocks to a Fort Worth recycling plant to be destroyed. The federal government estimated at the time U.S. residents possessed more than 500,000 bump stocks. Those devices were now illegal to own. The controversy surrounding the bump stock put the small town of Moran, Texas, about 130 miles west of Fort Worth, under the national spotlight. It was here where the bump stock was invented and manufactured. Faced with the ban and lawsuits, in 2018, the company's Slide Fire closed. Today's decision, which gun safety advocates are declaring a big victory, comes just months after the Supreme Court voted to expand gun possession rights.
Okay, you heard that and you saw that. I'm jump over to here. This is an older, this is back in 2020. And Supreme Court on Monday rejected an appeal of the federal ban on bump stock devices that allow semi-automatic firearms to fire rapidly like machine guns. The justice did not comment in declining to review a lower court ruling that upheld the ban, which took effect nearly a year ago. Remember, this is 2020. President Donald Trump said that the government would move to ban bump stocks following a 2017 shooting in Las Vegas in which a gunman attached bump stocks to assault-style rifles used to shoot concert goers from his hotel room by using devices which allow shots to be fired more rapidly. The gunman was able to fire more than 1,000 rounds in 11 minutes. 58 people were killed and hundreds were injured. Okay, we know this little history here. The Trump administration was an about face for the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. In 2010, under the Obama administration, the ATF found that devices were legal. But under the Trump administration's official revisited that determination, found it incorrect. The revised regulation requires owners either to destroy their bump stocks or surrender them. The government estimates hundreds of thousands of devices were sold. It's definitely more than that. Now, I'm going to jump into this article, which is current October 3rd, 2022. And the Supreme Court on Monday declined to hear a case in which Second Amendment activists sought to invalidate the Trump-era ban on bump stocks. The latest in multiple such cases the justice has refused to take up. The lawsuit, Gun Owners of America versus Garland, initially targeted former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker while former President Donald Trump was in office. More recently, Attorney General Merrick Garland, appointed by President Biden, was the top named defendant after taking over the lead Justice Department post. The case challenged a 2018 decision by the Justice Department under Trump to ban bump stocks. That move followed the 2017 mass shooting, which we know about. And we also know what bump stocks do. Quote, "We are faithfully following President Trump's leadership by making clear," oh, they're following his leadership now, but look at what they said about him when he was actually in office, but by making clear that bump stocks, which turn semi-automatics into machine guns, are illegal, and we will continue to take illegal guns off our streets, Whitaker said in a statement at the time. As I pointed out before, the federal district judge sided with the government in 2019 before a three-judge panel on the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed that decision last year. In part, the appeals panel argued that federal agencies do not possess the broad authority to decide major policy issues like whether to ban a certain gun accessory like a bump stock. That's true. The ATF cannot make law. They're there to enforce the rules as passed down by as law. But that's another argument. Okay? Now, I have no qualms one way or the other. My biggest concern is always, this is always a stepping stone to the next thing that they want to ban. So now they've enforced this and solidified that the bump stocks are banned. What's the next thing they're going to kind of hopscotch their way to? Now, I've never used a bump stock. I have no use for them, but I really have a problem when they ban things arbitrarily like that because of an incident of violence. You know, we're not going to ban SUVs because one incident or one public incident of murder by using one of these vehicles is not an excuse to go out and just arbitrarily ban something. But I am going to say this to especially the anti-gun crowd. If you're watching this, you need to pay attention because you don't need a bump stock to bump fire a semi-automatic firearm. I'm going to play this video for you here, right here. Okay, see this? Watch this.
Today's lesson, the belt loop trick. Tell them about it, Cody.
Well, it's not exactly a practical way to shoot. You'll burn up a lot of ammo doing it, but
it's fun, right?
it's still fun.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
So what you talking about exactly?
I'm gonna run my thumb through the trigger guard
Right.
and hook this end through my belt loop.
Oh yeah,
Just like
through the
that.
yep.
And all I do is just pull the rifle forward with my left hand. The
Let it
recoil
try.
across the wrist.
Through the trigger guard, then through the belt loop, huh?
Yep. All right. Here we go.
Let her rip. Yo.
Heard that and you saw that. So banning bump stocks changes nothing for somebody who's a criminal mind who's going to do something nefarious. So I feel it's a hollow victory in a sense, because you're not changing anything when it comes to crime. But here's the problem. They address violence through legislation by banning things that only those who will follow the law will not procure and use. So you're not changing anything. You're not fixing anything. It's once again, it's like, here's your target and you completely missed. So we'll see what goes on going forward. But this is a very interesting story. And once again, I give you this story because what's the next thing they're going to try to go after? Using this as the foundation to do so. That's the part we should really worry about. Not so much that bump stocks are banned. Okay? But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.